Hello and welcome to TA for Traders. It's Tuesday the 10th of October. I'm Nigel Croft. In this video we're going to look at two UK stocks and two US stocks. In the UK we're going to concentrate on companies that have come out with figures today. So we'll be looking at Ted Baker and Domino's Pizzas, and in the States we'll be looking at General Electric and Walmart. Let's look at those charts. So starting with Ted Baker, and you can see this is the weekly chart, so each candle represents 1 week. So we've had, this is the 5th up week, which is very positive of course. It's taken us back above the moving averages, which were starting to move down. 20 and the 50 were moving down, although the medium term 200 day was always moving upwards. But we've gone above all those, and it looks like we're now testing resistance. The momentum is strong on the weekly, with the RSI up at 66.18. If anything, it's actually slightly overbought at this present level, and the MACD also showing positive momentum, not as overbought here, and the short term just going above zero. On the daily, you can excuse me, you can see the strong move that we've had yesterday and then today. Today's still up, even though it is a red candle. We opened at the high and we've moved back lower. In fact, we moved low and we've actually moved back up, but the candle is still red, but it is an up day. You can see the resistance that we're coming up against, which is why I would really expect a short-term consolidation. The moving averages have been left behind somewhat. 20 and the 50, they've created a nice picture back in the end of September, but now do need to catch up. We could maybe even see this gap filled that was created yesterday morning, although that could be, it's whether it's a bullish gap or not. Today's low was back in the gap, so be aware of that. If we were to fill the gap, it would bring us back to 27.23, so a pound lower than where we are at the moment. Momentum is very strong, with the RSI at a high and the MACD well above zero, and short term above long term. But again, the RSI, like on the weekly, is indicative of an overbought stock, and it's at 82.97. Moving on to the 4 hour, and again you can see the RSI peaked here at over 84. It's since come back somewhat, but was overbought, and the MACD as well here, I would say at our overbought level. We're overextended from the moving averages. Expect a consolidation. For a healthy consolidation, it would just need to be sideways. Don't fill the gap. Unhealthy, fill the gap, but just be aware. Let's go back to the daily very quickly. Because of this resistance, expect some pullback. If it can just trade sideways, stay above 20, 28, or the low of today, 27.83, stay above there, it'd be good. I'd be slightly concerned if it did fill the gap, but although that will let the moving averages, but then we may tend to test the moving averages when they do catch up. Okay, spent a long time on that one. Let's move on to Domino's Pizzas. Another company come out with figures today. Obviously had a jump up. This is the weekly, 4 up weeks now, which is good. The moving averages, we found support from the 200 week, and we've moved back up through the resistance of the 20 and the 50. The RSI has bounced, it bobbled along at lower levels. Actually, we did get some non-confirmations there, which was good. I would expect this to go into overbought territory. Overbought on this stock is on the weekly is nearly at 80, so the present level, which is 65.9, does have some way to go. The MACD as well are positive as they're moving up, but they're not back above zero yet, so they're indicative of positive momentum, but can go higher. On the where we're moving to the daily, and you can see that we had a jump today on the figures. Positive on the 21st of September, the moving averages did create a golden cross 20 to 50. That's a positive. Also broke through the resistance today, which is good. Slightly overextended away from the moving averages, but we've left a gap. I would expect that to herald further upside. Looking at the gaps, we did gap down. We've had a couple of gap downs previously, so that was a bearish sign there. That was the and maybe there we can say we did have a conclusion on the gaps. Usually get 3 gaps. Be aware of that. Looks like we did. So in that case, that's good. Likewise on the upside, if it can fill that gap there, which one would expect, that would take us up to 382. On the 4 hour, not a lot I can really add. It's obviously broken up away from the moving averages. Consolidation would be healthy, but the RSI, even where it is 78.23, as you can see, has previously gone up to mid 80s. Right, moving over to America, General Electric, general bearish picture looking at the charts. You can see the weekly has legged down this week, mainly yesterday's move, taken us down to a new low for the year. The moving averages are now creating bearish crosses. 20 did cross the 50, then it's crossed the 200. All these are bearish signs, and you can see the negative momentum as the RSI is in a downtrend, presently 31.79, and the MACD are down as well, and the short term marginally above the longer term at the moment, but that's in low ground and still showing negative momentum. On the daily, you can see the move yesterday broke us into new lows for the year. Moving averages were pushing down as they tracked down and have been a key resistance on any rally. You can see the 50-day especially has continually hit the market as we've got up to that level. We're in a downtrend in the RSI, 47.12 at the moment, and the MACD have they did bounce. They've now moved back below zero, and the short term has just moved below the long term, and that is shouting out as a sell. On the 4 hour, you can see the breakdown. We're about to get a bearish cross on the 20 crossing the 50. RSI is down at 31.95, but has been well below 30 on numerous occasions, so there's still downside enabled on that RSI. And again, the MACD have just cracked down 20 below 50 and below zero to indicate a sell. Moving on to the last stock we're covering today, that's Walmart. You can see that we're getting towards the upper breakout on the weekly. That would be a move above 82. That would then herald a move up to next resistance, which is seen in the 88 to 90 level. Moving averages are moving reasonably positive. 20 gave support last week and the week before the move up, and the 50s just crossed the 200 in a golden cross formation. On the RSI, we have lost a bit of momentum, but it's still above 50, 61.43, so still positive momentum. Likewise, we have lost a bit of momentum on the MACD with the short term moving below the longer term, but still enough upside momentum, I think, to test the resistance. Moving on to the daily, and you can see here that I have drawn a downtrend line through the highs of the 8th of August and the 15th of September. We did trade through that yesterday but came back below, so that's a key level that people will be watching. I would say 3 days close above there, it has been broken, but really I'd want to see that resistance at the high, which is 82 of the 8th of August, to be broken for a confirmation. RSI is ticking up nicely, now gone into an uptrend, gone back above 50, 58.95. Likewise, the MACD above zero, and the short term just moved above the longer term. I expect that picture to move up, which would be positive. And finally, on the 4 hour, here you can see the moving averages are in a positive formation. The 20 will cross the 50 in a golden cross in a couple of days. You can see the downtrend here has been broken, and I would expect a consolidation, let the moving averages catch up, 20 across the 50, and then we'll get a push up through that resistance at the 82 level. So that's been TA for traders, looking at 4 stocks. We looked at, in the UK, we looked at Ted Baker and Domino's Pizzas, and then in the States we looked at General Electric and Walmart. I hope you found the video of interest. If you did, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. You just press the button here. I don't just cover single stocks, I also cover equity indices, foreign currencies and commodity markets. If you subscribe, you get an email update each time that I come out with a new video, which is most days. Many thanks for watching. Please remember, these videos are for information only, and in my opinion, they're not an investment recommendation. There's a disclaimer for you to read. Thank you.